What's going on, everyone? My name's Butters, and welcome to the top 100 greatest Pokemon of all time. This is a very ambitious list. You know, you've seen top 10s, maybe top 20s, top 30s perhaps, top 5s of course as well, but there's very few top 100s on YouTube. This will be based off what I believe makes a Pokemon great, and won't be simply based off stats, or move pools, or usage in competitive, or whether they're legendary or not. It'll be a combination of lots of different things. This is a very ambitious list, as you can tell. 100 Pokemon is no small feat, so a lot of work has gone into this. I hope you guys will enjoy this, and I hope you'll leave a like on this video if you do as well. This will be divided up into 10 top 10s, I guess. We'll have 10 Pokemon in each video. There'll be 10 videos as we head towards number 1. So, without further ado, let's get into the top 100 greatest Pokemon of all time. So, the first Pokemon on our top 100 greatest Pokemon of all time list is going to be Caterpie. Now, this may be a bit controversial, people looking at this like, what are you talking about? This is supposed to be great Pokemon, but I think Caterpie is a great Pokemon. Not in battle, because we all know it's pretty terrible, but it was the first ever Bug-type Pokemon. It has so much nostalgia packed behind it. It set the precedence for what a bug Pokemon should really be like. It's creepy crawly, but it's also very affectionate. We all have those memories of watching the anime where Ash's first Pokemon ever caught was a Caterpie, and Misty kind of struggled to be friends with it, to say the least. But I believe that Caterpie starting off this list is really the best way to start it off, because it's, like I said, it's not simply based on one stat, one particular criteria. It's based off many things, and Caterpie definitely deserves a spot on the greatest Pokemon of all time. Dugtrio will be taking its place at number 99 of our top 100 list. Dugtrio, this is more for personal reasons rather than nostalgia or anything else. I didn't really think much of Dugtrio in the kind of space in between 1st gen and 6th gen. But in 1st gen, you better believe I spammed that thing in Lieutenant Surge's Dam and Pokemon Yellow, because I had no other way to beat that Raichu. But between then and more recently, I didn't think much of Dugtrio. But I drafted it in the UCL Season 2 because of its special ability that lets it trap in Pokemon, and I thought that was such a cool idea. And now, in 7th gen, it has luxurious, wonderful hair. And honestly, I think Dugtrio is a really cool Pokemon. It also, of course, it has that mystery of what's underneath it. What is underneath the Dugtrio? But its stats aren't amazing. It just has these little gimmicky things that make it really cool. Wobbuffet is up next, and I definitely think that Wobbuffet deserves a spot on this list. Maybe not too high up, because it's kind of like the bane of my existence being a Nuzlocke. When you see this in a Nuzlocke, you're like, okay, it can do a couple things. It can counter my moves, using Counter or Mirror Coat. It can safeguard itself so I can't status it to death, like I've only used Toxic, Safeguard. I can't do that anymore, cool. Or it can Destiny Bond if I attack it. So attacking it is very, very risky, but at the same time, it can also counter your status ailments. It makes it a very tough Pokemon to take down, and also in the anime, I really do appreciate its inclusion with the whole Team Rocket thing going on there. Wobbuffet is a definite strange Pokemon, like, oh, is the actual Wobbuffet its tail? Is that a theory? Is that a game theory you could put in there? Wobbuffet is one of those Pokemon where you just look at it, you're like, it's not great, and then you fight it, and it's like, oh, it just destroyed me. Fantastic. But Wobbuffet is number 98. McCargo is on this list for one simple reason, and it's the fact that it became such a joke and such a huge part of the Versus Royale series we did on Game Boy Luke's channel, and then on my channel. Go! Yo! McCargo! McCargo absolutely saved me from losing that series. There was a time in that, right at the start, when I had absolutely no Pokemon. I couldn't do anything. I was in, I think it was Doofa Town in Pokemon Emerald, and all I had was my McCargo. And I didn't know what to do. I was like, if I lose my McCargo, I lose the series. But McCargo pulled through time and time again and actually won me the series, basically. I mean, there were many other factors going into that. The fact that I caught a Regice near the end, but McCargo won me a series basically single-handedly and became like a huge joke and a huge thing on the channel and for the series. So McCargo, I love you, and you definitely are one of the greatest Pokemon of all time. Alright, so taking a break for a bit from the personal nostalgic stories, next we have Volcarona. Now, Volcarona is a very, very powerful Pokemon. I absolutely love using it in competitive. I love catching people out using Giga Drain or Rotom Wash and stuff. They think they can switch in a Rotom Wash to my +6 Quibberdance Volcarona and think you're okay. No, I'm gonna get all my health back with a Giga Drain. Volcarona is a really cool, but the only downside, and the reason it's so high up on this is it's so hard to get one. It's so hard because you need to get a Larvesta and you need to level it up so very high. It's a little bit ridiculous. I don't know why Game Freak looks at some really cool Pokemon and they say, okay, we'll give you this, but you have to get it to level 70 to actually evolve it first. That makes me sad. I really wish Volcarona was a little bit easier and more accessible to use, because then it would be a lot higher on this list. But still, even because of that, it's still an amazing Pokemon and deserves to be here. Next up is Gible, and I like Gible for a couple reasons. First up is its portrayal in the anime. I like how Ash uses it, but mostly, I love its design. It's basically a head with arms and legs. Now, I know there's a lot of Pokemon that description applies to, but this thing could evolve into a Sharpedo and no one would bat an eye. But it doesn't. It evolves into a huge land shark monster, and Gibbles are just tucked away in this one little cave. If you want to use a Gibble and a Garchomp in Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, you have to find this guide, and you have to go underneath the bicycle bridge road, and you have to just find the entrance out of sheer luck, I guess. If you didn't have a guide, or you didn't look it up on the internet, which internet guides were kind of in their baby stages right then, you had to look really, really hard to find this thing. And it was absolutely worth it. I love Gible. It has such high attack. It's so good in the games. I absolutely adore its design, too. So that's why it's on the list. Gastrodon is another 4th gen Pokemon that I absolutely loved using in Diamond, Pearl, Platinum. Its design, I don't know how to think about the design. I like it, but it should be ugly, right? It should be ugly, but it's just not. It has that kind of like cute, kind of strange appeal to it, where I'm like, okay, this is not as ugly as it probably should be. But its typing is absolutely amazing. I really appreciate the water ground typing, making it only weak to grass type, which honestly you can find grass resistances all over the place. And by the time you get a Gastrodon in Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, you probably got like 2 or 3 already. So Gastrodon is an amazing addition to the team. I like how it can kind of stall people out, has really good defenses, and I loved using it in 6th gen competitive too. It looks like in 7th gen, it's going to be boosted up a little bit, so my little buddy Gastrodon is going to see a little bit more attention, which it makes me happy. It makes me happy. I feel like those middle stage evolutions are ones that kind of tossed to the back, kind of forgotten a little bit sometimes. But we have Charmeleon coming in at 92 on the list, and it honestly deserves the spot. Charmeleon is a really, really cool design Pokemon. It honestly looks like the big brother and little brother, respectively, to Charmander and Charizard. And it's a really cool Pokemon to get you going through Kanto. Not only that, it was a little bit sassy in the anime. You know, it didn't always listen to what Ash had to say, which honestly, if you look at that Pokemon, you're like, yes, this Pokemon's gonna be sassy. And the fact that it learns all these good moves in Fire Red Leaf Green, like Metal Claw and Flamethrower before it even evolves, makes it a very good... I can see why people use Charmander. I can see why it's such a loved Pokemon by the fans. That whole evolution line is very nice. I personally prefer other evolution lines, which we'll get onto later, but Charmeleon is not one to be forgotten about. Delmas is a Pokemon that really stands out in the Alolan region. First off, the design of it absolutely fits with the tropical theme of the game. Also, it has 3 stab moves. It has Grass, Ghost, and Steel, essentially because of its Steel boosting ability, pretty much giving it 3 stab moves. But it also gets Anchor Shot, which uses its ability to stop Pokemon from fleeing, and it's this unique move specifically for Delmas. Another thing I like about it, I'm just listing off things that is so great about it. Another thing I like about it is the fact that it's actually the soul of the seaweed, which is kind of strange. Like, why does seaweed have a soul? But it's the soul of the seaweed that has taken control of these items for a pirate ship. It really works to the kind of tropical theme of the game. I really appreciate it so much, and it definitely deserves to be on this list. Now, to top off the first stretch in our marathon of a list, we have a Buzzball coming in at 91. Now, this thing has so much personality. I think that's why I like it so much. It doesn't say anything, but it has so much personality in the animations that play when you use it in battle. The way that it flexes when it comes into battle, and even when it's going down, it has time to flex when it's fainting, when it's passing out. Now that's some dedication right there. He is dedicated to the muscles. He is dedicated to the art of flexing. He is also it has very strange stats, as most of the Ultra Beasts do, but you can either choose to boost its attack or defense when it knocks out a Pokemon, so you have a little bit of choice there in what kind of sets you want to make it. But Buzzball is definitely a Pokemon that I want to try and use more in competitive, if it doesn't get banned, of course, from Smogon. But it's a very, very cool Pokemon, and its shiny is really ugly, but it also reminds you of the Hulk, so that's kind of cool too. But that is the end of the first stretch in our, like I said, in our marathon of a list. I hope you guys did enjoy it. If you guys are excited for the next one, be sure to destroy that like button. This video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.